So there's an emphasis on advocacy beyond the individual. So whether you're seeing clients in a group space, group therapy or individual therapy, really want to emphasize advocacy, and it's not right at the beginning. You're not going to come in and say, okay, now that you know this, go do this. It's definitely a process, but towards the end, you really want to be able to have the client advocate for themselves, and if they want to, present the opportunity, what would you think if you advocated for others, who might be experiencing the same thing, and that actually helps to reduce the stigma that is very much there. Also, the healing of discrimination and various forms of oppression that contribute to clients' mental health. So a lot of the things that maybe women and young girls are experiencing are forms of oppression. So again, putting a name to that and understanding to that. Relabels pathology as reactions to societal oppression such as gender discrimination, sexual abuse, sexual violence, and poverty. So often women tend to question themselves a lot when they're experiencing something that isn't being processed correctly, or somebody's telling them this, or family members might be telling them something else, and so a lot of questioning themselves, confusion, depression. Those are all reactions to societal oppressions that are very much in place today. So again, the gender discrimination, the sexual abuse, the violence, and the poverty. So you're not just depressed because it's just in your blood and you're depressed. You might be depressed because of all these things that you might be experiencing and don't have the ability or resource yet to, accurately or effectively express that, and have somebody to guide you through that as well. So coalition building is part of the advocacy as a way to challenge clients' feelings of isolation, stigma, and shame as survivors that many survivors go through all the time. The feeling of I'm alone in this, who can I talk to? The stigma associated, and then the shame as well. A lot of the shame and sexual abuse or sexual trauma. That is the reality. So kind of breaking free from that isolation and connecting with different people and individuals to be able to, spread the word, like, hey, this is our story, this is our narrative, this is our testimony, and, other people see that and they realize they're not the only one, so that begins the healing process. Just that awareness and knowing that you're not alone begins that healing process, and, for anybody, in what they might be experiencing. So I really want to, the healing of those, the different forms of oppression, the advocacy, and putting words to the feelings, that, the real words that are to the feelings, and to also be educated. To get to that place of empowerment, you have to be educated, and that could be one of our roles. So as therapists, we're also, educators and, advocates for our clients as well. And so really wanting to take that role and take it very seriously when working with female youth of color and other clients that you serve. So the therapeutic aims of feminist therapy are healing, identity, so identity formation, positive identity formation, empowerment, the gender role awareness. So what is it to be a woman? What is it to be a girl? What are your ideas? So processing that. A lot of the times, female youth of color and all youth often turn to the media to kind of have, that grow their identity a little bit. They internalize what they see. Often what they see isn't the most healthy thing, and they're stereotypes. So internalizing stereotypes is a big deal. So having that gender role awareness provides that platform for discussion, for processing, and for healing. Also the self-discovery that is very much interconnected with all of this. Who are you? Who do you want to become? What are your goals, your dreams? What are the dreams that you don't really think that you can reach, but that are there, that often cross your mind, or that you see other people do? So that self-discovery and acknowledgement of yourself as somebody who's really, really capable and really powerful. Also, the media literacy is really, really huge in being able to critique the videos and the lyrics that are, on the screen, so that anywhere they go, they have that tool now. They have that tool to critique messages, and how is this affecting me, or how is this impacting me or other people. Being able to understand them and see, what role are different people playing in this, and how is that supposed to impact me? What are they trying to sell to me? So even ads, on TV commercials that we see all the time. Women are bombarded with, weight loss, do this, do that, squat 10 times a day, all these different things, try this as makeup, all these things that really, really, become internalized and play around in our mind again and again. So wanting to break that up a little bit and develop a more conscious, develop consciousness in that, so that those messages or those negative messages no longer harm the client. As a female youth of color, they have this tool and now are empowered to, anytime they see messages or hear songs on the radio, they're not just blatantly internalizing them. They're able to critique them and listen to them and understand them in a different light. So next, using both therapeutic approaches. So I'm actually still in the works of really figuring out how to best integrate the both of them and how to really, talk about that and discuss the integration of both of them and the impact that, positive impact that it can have with female youth of color. So wanting to say that both are rooted in facing challenges and overcoming obstacles. So it's that sense of empowerment, and that increase of consciousness and, kind of opening the eyes and know that, you can always overcome this situation. There are ways, you can do this for yourself on your own, whether it's like writing, poetry or speaking out loud to yourself. There's different forms. Understanding that hip-hop is rooted in self-expression and knowledge. So understanding that what we hear on the radio is like almost the opposite of that. So that's more commercialized hip-hop, and which has, the companies, corporations play a huge role in that. And so, it goes to say that, anything that can be happening to people of color and that has meaning and purpose and it has power has slowly been taken away and commercialized. And now that's hip-hop, or that's what people know as hip-hop, which is really, really damaging to hip-hop culture and to the youth who think that that's what they're listening to is hip-hop. It's a big misunderstanding. And once there's a better understanding of it, then it can be used for its purpose, its true purpose. Also, feminism is rooted in gender equity and consciousness. So we have equality, but we really want to strive for equity in, cultural responsive, culturally, politically, we're really shooting for equity, and of all genders. So this feminism isn't just for girls and women, right? It's for all identities and the healing of all identities. Process and develop their life experiences and identity, as well as empower themselves and each other by creating, this, I can very much see this in like a group therapy session, collective consciousness, kind of like having that discussion and process and healing with each other. And in that consciousness keeps growing and raising, and there's an excitement, there's an empowerment there. Community, so in that you're building community, you're opening the doors to other communities that might want to, what is this, what's happening here? Also that healing aspect is huge. So I think that also, I have this here as a number, but I think it has to do with, if you're becoming more conscious, that's actually part of healing. If you're becoming more aware, that's part of healing. If you're developing community, that's part of healing. Also taking action, that is a huge healing part, because now you're serving a purpose, you're serving this role in what you feel passionate about, and that's starting to heal you. I mean, I can say even being in the program has healed me, because I've become educated a lot farther than I was, and that's healing to me, and being able to create, a women's group, the community. It's called We Rise. Side note, I have my co-founder here, Lily, and so being able to really take part in that and create that and develop that is really, really huge, and it reflects the identity development, the empowerment, the education, the want and need for it, and the healing that's so integral to it as well. Let's see, so in using both approaches, so feminist therapy and hip-hop therapy, there's several, I have my resource there really, really small, but choice, Can you see it? Choice of music and elements of empowerment. So this speaks to when wanting to really utilize hip-hop therapy and feminist therapy with a group of female youth of color, or with a client, just a one person individual. You really want to see if the song or the video incorporates some kind of problem solving. If it doesn't in the song and it might be negative, what opportunity is there to kind of think of how can I twist this to make this a problem solving skill? How can we think about this? How can I share this so that we can think about problem solving? Does the song or lyrics or the video, does it talk about self-knowledge? Does it speak to self-knowledge, awareness, and acceptance? Does it talk about strength and having that inner strength and inner power? Does it talk about perseverance? So overcoming obstacles. So, keep going when you're in the face of everything, or in the face of doubt, or even yourself, you're feeling like you can't do this. Always wanting, the need and the importance of persevering, while also understanding the challenges that you are going through right now in this moment. But also the importance of perseverance. Intolerance of less than. So kind of changing that self-talk. I'm not going to tolerate hearing or telling myself that I'm no good, or that person's better, or, what am I even doing here? Who am I to reach these goals or these dreams? So developing the intolerance of that, and wanting to stress that as well. All of these are really big life tools. Also, courage and confidence. How is this song or lyric or video encouraging courage and having courage, bravery, and confidence in whatever you do? Or how is it not? And so how is it not also, that lies a huge opportunity as well, because you can have that discussion. It provides actually a platform to kind of talk about how maybe this song isn't really, encouraging courage or self-confidence. It's actually really demeaning, in whatever aspect, and having that discussion. Growth and risk-taking. So, needing to take risks that, that you'll always learn from. So, and also growth that comes from risk-taking, or the growth that comes from failure, or the growth that comes from not feeling or being successful. So, and then the last one is independence, fostering a sense of independence. And I'm okay as an individual, and all of those aspects and healing elements that come with that fostering of feeling independent. And so those are the top 8 when you're thinking of using different songs or lyrics or videos in the process. So that actually concludes my presentation. I felt like I was really
because of time constraints, I would like for you, if you have questions, to catch up with Sister Angelisa outside, because this room is about to be used, and we got to get this presentation set up. So any questions got to be personal to her, but we ain't gonna be doing it in a group, okay? But a program change. Room 176 is gonna have someone speaking in there. Powers and limits of social. Her preliminary study on her preliminary findings on the study of intra-Muslim race relations. That's been pushed back from 1 o'clock, now it's at 2 o'clock. So that's happening in 176. In this room, Dr. Lamb will be speaking on showing empathy for counseling students from diverse backgrounds in their demonstration of empathy and practice. Okay? So, we'd like to thank her again. Unfortunately, because of time constraints, I ask that any questions you all have, that you catch up with her and ask her then. Okay? So let's give her another round of applause.
Oh yeah, you can leave your evaluations on the desk. Thank you.